This screencast is a double presentation of 2 lessons related to Teaching Portfolio course, PERS 1233A. Tonight I'm going to review certificates, awards, and reference letters, and some other professional stuff that can go in that section of your portfolio. And then for a final outcome in our program, we're going to be doing a presentation of our teaching portfolio called the Portfolio Showcase. So, first item, certificates, awards, references, and reference letters, and some other personal stuff that you might put in a section of your portfolio. So what kind of content can you include for this section? This is a place where you can collect your credentials. That includes any number of things. If you have a university degree, college certificates, transcripts of marks that go with those kinds of things. If you are a member of a professional association, you're a licensed practitioner like a professional engineer or licensed practical nurse, any kinds of documentation that might be a recognition of that. Any awards that you might have received, either academically or in recognition of anything that you might have done that could relate to your work, and any letters of reference that you might have. Above and beyond that, any other kinds of acknowledgement for the work that you've done, letters that you receive from students that are thanking you for things that you've done, etc. So here's some examples. I've got 2 examples here. I've got a scanned image of a university degree that I got, a BA, and that's a relatively nice document. And then here's a certificate. A colleague of mine from the college at NBCC Miramichi, Lisa Vanderbeck, also teaches Living Works Assist program about suicide intervention. So that's a picture that was taken with my smartphone. Scanned images would be preferable because you're going to get a better quality. Transcripts of marks. This is a scanned image of a transcript of marks from Lakehead University for a sociology degree. So if you have official transcripts of marks, if you've written away and you've got them, you can include that. Or if you have access to them, you can include those. Here's a bit of student feedback. This is off of ED 4110, Facilitating Learning Methods, Adult Learning Methods and Practice from a number of years ago. And these are just some positive things that students had to say. So I've got a form that had that information on it, and I scanned that, and this is an image of that positive student feedback. Any kind of letters of reference or recognition. So back in the day when I was teaching ED 4110 and we were doing stuff face-to-face, I had a student named Reno Bernard who was in the course, and he wrote this lovely letter that went into my file, and he sent it to our principal. They were called principals at the time, not regional managers, to Marie Paul, and said some nice things about me. So these are all examples of the kinds of things that could go in this section. Moving on to the Teaching Portfolio Showcase. On the 21st of this month, then, scant couple of weeks away, what we will be doing is meeting in Fredericton. What's it all about? We're going to have a showcase where people will get together and make a presentation of their portfolios. We're going to have a big crowd. There's a video. I've sent you this screencast I've sent you a copy of this PowerPoint in email today, and you can click on the link in the PowerPoint to watch a video on a showcase setup. This is a couple of years ago, and I took a bunch of pictures of students right from the time that the showcase was starting till the end of the showcase. So there will be invitations that are sent out. This is a copy of a letter that was sent out by Alexander Heath last year, and to our invited guests. And that included a lot of people who were in administration, and one of the chief audience that we'll have this year, aside from whether there are other dignitaries and administrative people show up, or people who are employed at the Fredericton campus, our first-year students in IDP will be having their orientation on the 20th and 21st. They will be coming to take a look at your portfolios from 11 until noon. on the 21st. So here's our schedule. We're going to be meeting at the Wu Center. It's right beside the Fredericton campus. It's on the hill where UNB is located. We will be in the Chancellor Room. It's on the main floor. You have time from 9 to 11 to arrive and to get set up. From 11 until noon, very specifically until noon, we'll be having a viewing by first-year students and our invited guests. And then at noon, we'll have a lunch from 12 until 12:45. Unfortunately, we will be lunching alone, and we won't be having a lot of time other than 11 till noon to network with the first-year students. After 12:45, what we've got is a number of activities that relate to some evaluations, peer evaluations. We'll be looking at a number of each other's portfolios and completing some evaluations on them, plus doing a self-evaluation on your own portfolio. Some of the other details for that day is that there's one table per participant, and the table comes with a tablecloth and skirting. You have access to electrical, access to wireless internet, on-site technical support, free parking. Your basic, and this is what the Chancellor Room looks like, all set up for our presentations before anybody arrives. That's what the table looks like, and you've got some internet connectivity. So the basic requirement for you to be there with on that day is a laptop that you can connect, and your teaching portfolio from your Blackboard course with your name will be available to be displayed on the screen. Bring a hard copy portfolio. It's optional, and this was a requirement in last year's course. But if you've got a hard copy of stuff that you put together as a portfolio, bring that for your table because you want to dress up your table a little bit. And then the other basic requirement of the day is participation in the day's activities, interacting with our guests, talking about the course and your portfolio, and completing the peer and self-evaluations after lunch. If you want, make sure you bring whatever you think you might need to make sure that things are going to work for you. You've got to have a laptop. Some things, add-ons, some suggestions for the setup. Some sort of giveaway items. Go to the town hall in your local community, get some lapel pins, or if you've got business cards, bring them, and if you have some brochures or pens, some students have put effort into making brochures that they've had to pass out in conjunction with their portfolio presentation setup. Have a pitch. If somebody comes around and asks you what you're doing, have some kind of pitch canned about what the portfolio is, what its purpose is, and then give them the little spiel when they come to talk to you. Do some networking. Other students have set up all sorts of things like giveaways, jelly bean bowls. Guess the number of jelly beans in a bowl. They come with candies to give away, and they run little games and given some prizes away. So those are some add-on things that you can do. Those things are not requirements, but they're real nice things to do that are add-ons, and a number of students have done it in the past, and they've been a lot of fun. So that would be the kind of thing that you would see when you go to any kind of convention where there's a showcase that's set up and people are doing those kinds of things around their presentation tables. So although your presentation table itself might have a skirt and a tablecloth, students have done a number of things to make their booths distinctive. They brought additional tablecloths. They've made some panels that they put extra materials on, like printed course outlines and so on. So you can arrange your table in levels. I think some of that's demonstrated here. If you're bringing stuff like textbooks from your course, or student learning modules, or examples of student work, or maybe gear, people who have done courses in culinary have brought things like mixing bowls, and so on. People have brought some welding gear. Anyway, whatever you do, try and arrange things strategically. These are just a few of the principles. Put the small stuff at the front of the table and the larger stuff at the back, and so on. So people have done some really nice things to dress up their portfolio presentations and the tables. And then basically what we want to do is try to socialize and have a little fun. So here's some of the pictures of people from a past portfolio presentation. They've been good days. an opportunity for us to get together, and it'll be the conclusion. Hopefully, with the lunch and everything, this is going to be a little bit like a party and a day to kind of complete the program with the presentation, but also a little bit of a day to sort of relax and make connections with people again.